Hey you Stygian Dogs, it's April 16th, and this marks the release of issue number 20 of Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. Titled Twisting Loyalties Part 4, Purged, Jim Zub and Doug Braithwaite returned to close out a circuitous arc that has reintroduced fan favorite Zula and has teased at the return of Tathamon. And it's great. We'll take our thorough look at the book, but first, while you go out and buy it, let's catch up with events from the previous issue and take a look at this month's covers. Conan confronts calamity. The Queen of the Black Coast is dead. The need for survival eclipses the sorrow of love's loss. A form follows the Cimmerian's treacherous trudge through the steaming swamps and dense jungles of the Black Kingdoms. It watches, measuring Conan's worth. When from the pitch black a panther pounces, summoning a searing strength that burns from deep within, Conan triumphs. But this is no ordinary jungle cat. Transfixed by its transfiguration, the sound of snapping bone and sight of swirling flesh, standing before Conan is Zula, guardian of the grasslands, declaring that his soul shall not rest till all serpents are slain. And here are this month's covers. Cover A is from Roberto Torre. Cover B is from Mike Rooth. Here's Ben Templesmith's cover C. And cover D and retro styling is from Doug Braithwaite. Now, let's move on to the issue itself. And here we go. I will flip through the book, present a few close-ups of panels. I'll try not to read too much verbatim, but I will outline the general plot and happenings. I want you to be curious and to grab your own copy. Seriously, I implore you, buy these comics. They're fantastic. I want to give you a sense of how things look and to convey my excitement and a few summary thoughts. But be warned, if you want a pure reading experience, and I know you do, I would caution you about spoilers. If inclined, feel free to skip ahead to the conclusion. My review there will be generally spoiler-free. On the inside cover is an advertisement for issue number 2 of Patrick Zircher's Solomon Kane, The Serpent Ring. Be sure to check out my review of the excellent issue number 1 and grab a copy for yourself. After that, credits for the teams at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. Turning the page, the Numidian Chronicles, a map for wayfinding, and a summary of events from the previous issue. The Cimmerian, mere moments ago, pitted against a prowling panther, now faces this sorcerer who would see him slain over slithering suspicions. Twisting Loyalties, Part 4, Purged. Grim Jim Zub writer, diabolical Doug Braithwaite artist, dangerous Diego Rodriguez color artist, rascally Rich Starkings, and Comicraft's Titanic Tyler Smith lettering, calamitous Chris Butera editor. A questioning Conan is cut short. The shape-shifting Zula's strength surges as he speaks of an eternal enemy and an oath to slay those that serve the serpent. But no Stygian is he, rather a stone-sent Cimmerian who would forge his own fate. Prepared for the panther's pounce, the barbarian bests the beast's leap, his blade turning the tide of battle. The deed would be done, but for need to understand what motivates this man? A woman now stands in the place of the snake-seeking sorcerer, and she speaks of the impossible truth of Conan's serpent-stained taint. Set has corrupted the Cimmerian soul. He must travel to be tested if his spirit is to be saved. Once again, Conan bears witness to Zula's terrifying transformation, the eerie encounter ending in the flutter of a raven's wings. The dawn dictates his destination. There is danger to be confronted, either a duel unto death or a soul to be lost. Conan had crossed paths with set servants before, a god in a bowl and a blade to the belly, the fangs of the serpent leaving something behind. The trek's end begins with a sheer stone summit and a greeting from its guardian. With the vigor of his physical form proven, his inner strength will be tested. A ritual to reveal the serpent's self. Zula transforms, Conan is witness to a terrible vision of blood-drenched conflict, the ancient war of the shape-changers of the grasslands and the snake-headed slayers set upon their extinction. Marked by the snake god, the dark seed of her evil is taking root in the Cimmerian soul. The time to fight is now. With Pictish blade in hand, a choice is to be made. God or beast, serpent or man. The blade stabs deep, and from the slain spills an echo of set seething, an essence that is alive. A demon come to this physical world, a shadow that moves like a whisper before the thunders crash. It strikes. Too strong for Zula to fight alone, a task for a half-dozen warriors. Everything can be lost. Love, laughter, the will to live, the fleeting breath of a dream waiting to be stolen. Unless we fight. With barbaric fury fraught from a force of a dozen men, his blade is brought home, claiming life's treasure to live for another day. The sun rises upon a new day, and they have won. The Cimmerian soul is no longer beset by Set. In debt to Zula, he hopes the day comes when he can repay it. Zula would not be eager for that day, for it means that the serpent god will not have finished with her dark plans for his soul. Tarnasha, the betraying brigand, seeks to sell the fangs of the serpent. A gentleman from the south seeks its return and a sacrifice. And so ends issue number 20 of Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. I thought this issue was pretty awesome. I found that it solidified Zula's presence. I love the deep dive into the antediluvian battles against the Serpent Men and the very trippy sequence of shadowy serpentine soul separation. As a 4-issue arc, twisting loyalties felt oddly circuitous, but this issue made it a worthy journey, and I think a necessary one. There is something of a satisfying reset in these pages, and an opportunity for even more expansive storytelling that's gotten me excited. On the opposite page, an advertisement for the 3 Conan novels from Titan Books and the Heroic Legends ebooks. As for the printed novels, I highly recommend starting with the John C. Hawkins City of the Dead, and I thoroughly enjoyed S.M. Sterling's Blood of the Serpent. As for the short story ebooks, I do hope that these are one day collected and published in a print version. Turning the page, we come to the covers gallery. And after the covers gallery, part 20 in Jeffrey Shanks' series of essays. This installment is titled Weird Tales, Werebeasts, Serpent Men, and Other Shape Changers of the Howardverse. Shanks shares a quote from Robert E. Howard's The Shadow Kingdom. "They are gone," said Brule. "The bird women, the batmen, the wolf people, all save such as this being that lies at our feet, and a few of the wolf men. The snake people were the last to go." The essay opens with Jeff noting this incarnation of Zula's ability to shapeshift, and that shape changes of various kinds are a common occurrence in Robert E. Howard's original stories, and that this ability of humans to transform into animals and vice versa dates to the earliest examples of our folklore. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, tales of vampires and werewolves became common in popular culture, and Howard was an early adapter of this trend. The second story that Howard ever sold, The Hyena, featured an East African shaman who could transform into, well, a giant hyena. Though he sold it to Weird Tales in 1924, the story would not be published until after Howard penned 2 more tales of lycanthropy, in The Forest of Yfer from 1925 and its sequel, Wolf's Head, in 1926, the latter being the first story of his to make the cover of Weird Tales. Howard's most famous tale of shape-shifting creatures, The Shadow Kingdom, was published in 1929. This story introduced readers to Kull the Conqueror and his Serpent Men foes, their true form revealed by speaking the ancient phrase, Ka Nama Ka Lajarama. The 1932 Brand McMorn story, Worms of the Earth, introduced a witch woman who, at the end of the story, reveals herself to be related to the titular subterranean reptiles. As for Howard's Conan stories, Black Colossus and Hour of the Dragon refer to werewolves, while the Scarlet Citadel sees a character transform into an eagle, and the People of the Black Circle sees the sorcerer Yimsha able to transform into a giant serpent. Jeff closes the essay by highlighting that Zub and Braithwaite's version of Zula fits in well with the long tradition of shape-changing entities that populate the Howardverse. As always, Jeff's essays are a must-read, so please be sure to check it out in full. After the essay, the chainmail letters page, and on the back cover, a new era of bravery and heroism, an advertisement for the many trade paperback and hardcover omnibus collections now available from Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. Jim Zub's Conan the Barbarian number 20 is a thunderous, sword-swinging spectacle with deep, time-spanning lore that will be appreciated by fans of Robert E. Howard's characters in comic book form. Zub and Braithwaite delve into the antediluvian wars that started long before the Thurian Age and the rise of humans. And in this issue, we can only surmise that the sons of Set in the Hyborian Age are of the same lineage of those snake-worshipping serpent men that Kull confronted in Howard's The Shadow Kingdom. And surely, like Kull, in time we will once again hear Conan, blade in hand, intone the foiling phrase, Ka Nama Ka Lajarama. The issue not only bridges the chasm between Howard's two prehistoric epics, but also teasingly connects the shape-shifting Zula, guardian of the grasslands in battle with an ancient foe, to our common era and Patrick Zircher's Solomon Kane the Serpent Ring, with an echo that resonates in that disturbing discovery in the grasslands of the kingdom of Ndongo. And while we're on the topic of lore expansion, there's that clever moment near the issue's beginning where Zula takes on a female form to disarm Conan. It serves as a sly and satisfying nod to Grace Jones's iconic portrayal in Conan the Destroyer. It's a well-placed wink to longtime fans, and it lands wonderfully. Zula's reintroduction to the pages of Heroic Signature's Conan the Barbarian has felt reinvigorating, and the issue's end assures us of his return, whether in the ongoing monthly series or the upcoming Scourge of the Serpent event series. All the while, hovering like a shadow cast by Set herself is Toth Amon. Jim Zub seems to be working on something pretty exciting. We'll just have to wait and see what comes next. Zub and team continue to wield Robert E. Howard's legacy like Conan's own broadsword. Bold, brutal, and charging headlong into adventure. Thanks for watching, liking, heck, why not subscribe? And until next time, take it easy, you Stygian Dogs.